Welcome, Peralta community. Welcome to today's board session. Let's call to order the meeting at 4:06. Okay. All right, roll call, please. Roll call.
The roll call is, hold on one moment, I apologize.
Oh, actually, we think
We do that after, we do that this, yes.
You are absolutely right. So we are at 1.2 Bond Measures Oversight Committee presentation. I will give that to you, Director Johnson.
Thank you, President Reese. Good afternoon, Board of Trustees and colleagues. I am very, very pleased to be joined by members of the Bond Measures Oversight Committee. And I'm here in my office with Andrea Dawson, who's the chair of the committee. And then also on the call are Mr. Jeff Cambra and Dr. Stacy Thompson, who you approved as new members of the committee at a board meeting in February. And the great news is that the Bond Oversight Committee has been meeting, and at their June 15th meeting, the committee reviewed their annual report and approved it as being in compliance. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the chair, Andrea Dawson.
Okay, good afternoon, late afternoon. Yes, I am Andrea Dawson, and I am the chair of the Peralta Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. I think is actually the proper name is the Bond Measure Oversight Committee. The reason for the committee, which I believe you're all aware, but I will state it for the record, is when you pass a bond measure in the state of California under the Proposition 39 regulation, it requires a 55% passage rate versus a 66 2/3. What that allows you to do is, in passing at a 55%, is you must, by regulation, seat a bond oversight committee throughout the life of the measure expenditures. And that it is and under that requirement, we as a committee are responsible to the taxpayers first, and through the trustees to state whether the district is in compliance for the previous year's spending of all the bond measure funds. And so with that, I will say, as Mark Johnson said, that the district indeed is in compliance. So a little more on this. So I've been on the committee. It's hard to imagine. It's been, I guess, 3.5 years. It seems impossible, but I was told that's how long it's been. So I believe it. We had some struggles, frankly, getting a cohesive committee that was in attendance in a number that would allow for a majority of the committee to be seated at each meeting, which we have to have a quorum to do business. So thanks to the efforts in the last couple of years of Mark Johnson and the trustees, including Kevin Jenkins, who used to be on our bond oversight committee. Welcome, I'm glad to see you, Kevin. We have gotten a quorum this last time with 2 new members, which are very committed, and that is Jeff Chambray. Did I say your name correctly? Chambra and Dr. Cambra. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Dr. Stacy Thompson. And so we're thrilled to have new committee members, and we believe going forward, we're really going to have a great committee. We've had some pretty consistent members show up, including Benjamin Scott. So anyway, with that said, I will say that we have reviewed the previous members have reviewed all the reports that have been put forward by your program management staff, which is AECOM. And they have done a very good job of expressing and showing through slides and reports what is actually happening with the bond at all of the campuses. And I really believe that there's been many improvements, even in the last year, since I started 3.5 years ago. I am an Oakland resident of 36 years. And I think it's important to say to you all that I understand this business because I work for San Francisco Unified School District in the bond program, and I have spent over 20 years of my career on bond programs in a very similar capacity to your bond program managers or to your senior project management in the district employees. And I'm a 36-year resident of Oakland, as I said, with a daughter who went through Oakland Unified School District public schools. And I have sat on that bond measure, CBOC, for 8 years in total, and I termed out, and now I'm going back on starting August 1st on that committee again. So I feel I'm a good look at what needs to be reported and how it needs to be expressed to the trustees and the community. So I'll leave it at that, because I know you probably have a long meeting, and just ask if you're open for questions.
Trustees, do we have any questions? Okay, I'll just say, Ms. Dawson, thank you. Thank you for the report. Thank you for the context. And I remember when your application came across several years ago, and I am very, very glad that we have your expertise, given how much work you've done within the community and over at OUSD. So thank you for that. I guess my only question is, the bond report was for 2020, 1920? Was that what, I'm sorry. It was-
Yes.
Yes.
So we're always going to be a couple of years behind, right? Is that how, my apologies for my naivete in asking that.
No, you're absolutely correct. And that was because we couldn't get a quorum for many months, frankly. And so it was delayed. But I'm actually very confident that the next report will be done in August, at the latest 1st of September meeting, and that we can bring it to the trustees in late September, and then we'll be current. So I'm really confident that we'll get a quorum in August, and we'll be able to review the audits, which I know they were in compliance, and then put that into the report format and come back to you with the report that is currently due from this last March 31st. And we'll be all caught up.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. And welcome to our 2 newest members to the committee. All right. Seeing no questions, hearing no questions, I believe we are good.
Okay.
Oh, we have to check. I'm sorry to interrupt, President. We have to confirm that there are no public comments for the closed session items.
Okay. Oh, yes. But in terms of this presentation, we are good, right? So for 1.2, we are good.
So now
Right.
just an informational item to the board.
So
Stacy and Jeff, thank you so much for agreeing to join this committee. We really need you. Stacy, it's good to see you. And Jeff, you look familiar. Now, Andrea, I think we go way back.
Way back.
and still an unpaid work, right?
Yeah.
Public service, but
Yeah.
thank you so much for being willing to do this. I know it's a challenge, but we really need it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. All right.
And I believe we have one comment from our chancellor, or a comment from our chancellor.
Thank you very much, President Napolia Bella-Reese. I just want to take the opportunity, and I'm not sure if we can bring up the faces of the 2 new board members
Yes,
of
please.
the Bond Oversight Committee. And thank you, Andrea, for leading us these last several years, because it is a volunteer position, but I do believe with our new 2 board members on the Oversight Committee, that we will be able to make more substantive process in terms of getting information out. So I want to personally thank Dr. Stacy Thompson, longtime educator. Her information was in the board packet, as Mark indicated, retired recently. And I want to thank her for stepping forward and volunteering to be on the Oversight Committee, because she brings a wealth of education at the community college level, both as a faculty member and as an administrator. So thank you, Stacy. And Jeff Cambry, I've known Jeff for as long as I've been in the Bay Area, since 2004, very active in the community, lives in Alameda, longtime resident there. And Jeff also has been very active, civic-minded, and thank you to Jeff for standing forward. Appreciate it very much. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the dais and President Reese.
Great, thank you. All right, now let's move on to 1.3, public comments on closed session items. Sasha, do we have any public comments?
I see one person as an attendee. Alan, do you have any public comments on the closed session items? You can raise your hand if you do, and I will move you over. Not raising their hand, no comments.
Okay, then let's adjourn to closed session and we will return at 6 o'clock. Thank you.